Just waiting for people to come in, waiting for people to chime in. It was always once said, the moment you begin to grow, you're going to have haters out there. You'll always have haters because you're growing. You know, you're growing. The more you grow, the more haters are going to come. And that's the thing of it. You know, there's too many people out there. Or when the haters come in and they see you doing something, they not doing nothing, and they hating on you because you doing something. So I'm live on Facebook, I'm live on YouTube, and live on Rumble. We're going to go ahead and get this thing started. Conversation and reviews. I'm your host, Big Truck. If you haven't already, please go to my channel, The King's Table. Subscribe, like, comment, and share. I got a heater for you today. So grab your shoulder pads and your helmet, and let's get this work.
But today we're going to delve into the Bible and find out how what God says, or who God says is responsible for creating evil. Because the Bible is clear on who created evil. It's not debatable on who created evil in the Bible. So that's what you're going to get the understanding on today. And it's gonna rock some boats. A lot of people are going to be a little uncomfortable after seeing this message, because it's going to be a surprise to a lot of you on how evil got here and who's responsible for the evil acts going on out here on the earth.
And let me just clarify. The moment you begin to speak truth, others don't want to hear it. Others have a problem with it. Others get offended. Others feel some type of way, because what it's doing is breaking tradition. The traditional way some individuals were being taught. Okay. Not only being taught, but you can even cross over to the behaviors of some individuals. And we're going to cover that, because it's going to give a clear picture of why a large number of individuals are behaving the way they're behaving today, and why so much division is being created. Let's continue.
So with that being said, you need to sit back and push your emotions to the side. We're going to deal with this topic on a scholastic level. We're going to go into the Bible and we're going to deal with it for what it says. So you need to put your emotions and take them off of the forefront, and then you got to just open up your mind so you can get the understanding on what you're about to receive. Amos chapter 3, verse 6. Shall a trumpet be blown in the city, and the people be not afraid? Shall there be evil in a city, and the Lord have not done it? See, the prophet Amos is asking a question. It's the topic of discussion. He says, shall there be evil done in a city, and the Most High God is not responsible for doing it? It's a rhetorical question, but God actually answers this question himself. Isaiah 45, verse 7. I form the light. God says he's the one who forms the light. When you see the sun go up in the morning, God is the one who does that. And create darkness. And he create darkness. So when the sun goes down, God is the one responsible for allowing the darkness to happen.
So he's letting you know he's the creator of light and dark. He's the creator of all things. See, we're going to shatter this thing. We're going We're going to break this thing down into different pieces, into many pieces, and then we're going to put it back together again differently, which will give you a better understanding and overstanding. Okay? So let's go bit by bit. All right? Stay with me now. Elohim created light and darkness. Open up your mind, open up your ears, open up your spirit, ready to receive. Let's continue.
I make peace, and God makes peace. When there's peace in your household, when there's peace between countries, God is the one responsible for doing that. And create evil. God says he does what? And create evil. Wait, I didn't think I understood that. God says he does what? And create evil. I, the Lord, do all these things. And just in case you didn't understand, God wrote his signature on the bottom of it. He says, I, the Lord, do all these things. Not Satan, not anybody else. God says, I'm the one responsible for doing all these things. I am the great I am. Nobody else gets the glory behind doing it. I'm the one.
The great I am, the Alpha and the Omega, the beginning and end. You begin to understand principles. You begin to understand how he moves. Many out there have been so brainwashed when it comes to the word of Yah. What do you mean by brainwashed? Other races know who we are but us. Every other race has an identity. Every other race is not lost. We are the only ones that's lost. Well, I can't say all of us, because on one side of the globe, you have individuals that have woken up, that have identified who they are, and that they know who they are. And there are those that are still in the dark. So it's half and half. When the word says, come out of her, come out of tradition, you have to come out of tradition, because the things that you were taught, the things that you followed, really, Elohim didn't say it. That's why he said, read the word for yourself. Don't lean on the understanding of what man say. Lean and trust on what I say, on what the words say. Because the word is light, the word is life, the word is truth. Look around you and you'll see how individuals behave. Reality is right here in front of our faces. We cannot act like we don't see prophecy getting played out. We cannot act like we don't see Hashatan, Satan, doing what he's doing, creating great division amongst the people, especially black people. The Hebrew Jews, let's get it real. Let's really talk about it. See, most gonna have a problem with the truth being shared, being talked about, things being identified that should have already been identified long time ago. And I said this once and I'll say it again. One thing I cannot stand is when an individual stand behind that pulpit and tell lies. When you got souls out there that need to be saved, where you got individuals out there that need to hear that word, where you have individuals that are starving for salvation, that want to do right, that want to live right, that want to hear the truth. Because certain things that they were being taught didn't sit well within their spirit. And they have questions. They should be able to ask questions.
one who does it. He's telling you straight out, so you don't have to get, there's no misunderstanding, there's no miscommunication. God is telling you straight up front, I'm the one who does this. When you see people getting killed in the streets, I'm the one who does this. When you see people getting murdered, I'm the one who does this. When you see wars going on around, I'm the one who does this. 1 Samuel 2 verse 6. The Lord killeth. See, God is telling you he's the one who does the killing. He's the one who kills. It's without a shadow of a doubt. God is telling you, the Lord killeth. He's telling you, I kill and maketh alive. And God will bring you back to life. Like when just some people in the hospital, when they done got shot 20 times, God is the one who allows them to stay alive. Yeah, the doctors do the surgery, but God is the one who gives the ultimate decision on if this man can stay alive or not. The doctors play their role, but God is the one who says, spirit stay there or spirit come up. He bringeth down to the grave. Yep, like God will bring you right down to the grave. You said, nope, I don't want him living anymore. I want his soul to come down to the grave.
If there's a situation that has taken place and Elohim says, I want him, I want her, send their souls up to me. Then there's nothing that can be done after that. It's going to be what it's going to be. It's going to go how it's going to go. And there ain't nothing that you can do to stop it or change it, alter it. That's why I always walk a medium with individuals. Be careful of how you treat people. Be careful of what you say to people. Sometimes it's not what you say, it's how you say. Sometimes it's not how you move, but in the way in which you move in. Beloved, you see, you never know when your name is going to be called. And many kind of straddle with that a little bit. But hey, it's reality, and it's something that has to happen when it comes to the human body and the living. One passes away, one's being birthed, being born. All right? Best thing you can do now, while you're breathing, while in the living, live your best life. Have an understanding that it's not about relationship. I mean, it's not about religion. It's about spiritual relationship. Correction. Where's the relationship? Because even if you read the word of Yah, he never identified himself as a Christian or any other religious family. He always said, my Father, he who sent me, doing my Father's work. That means that he has a relationship with his Father. So do we. Let's continue.
And bring it up. And he bring you right back up. People that have had heart attacks, people that have been pronounced dead, and all of a sudden, 2 days later, are coming out of a coma and all that. God is the one who says, you know what, it's not your time to go yet. I don't want him to die yet. The Lord maketh poor. God is the one who made the nation of Israel poor, like the so-called Negroes and Hispanics that are in the ghettos. God is the one who did that to you because you didn't want to keep his commandments. God put you in the projects, in the third ward projects, and in the slums. He's the one who put you in these places on welfare and all that. God put you there because you didn't want to listen and obey. He says he's responsible for doing it. And maketh rich. And God is the one who made all the Gentiles rich. He put them above the nation of Israel. He gave them the riches and the glory. of the planet Earth for this moment of time. God is the one who did that. He gave the so-called Europeans the right to rule right now the earth. He gave them that power. It's all in his hands. He's in control of everything going on. He's the one moving everyone on the chessboard. He's moving all the figures around. Exodus 12.
All the stuff that we seeing right now, Elohim has a lot to do with that. Different people are being put in different positions. Different people are moving in different directions. Different people are walking on different paths. You see? Why does he have this person doing this instead of doing that? He knows why. One thing about Elohim, he is very strategic in everything that he does and say. Have you ever noticed that? Have you ever sit back and looked at the things that has transpired in your life? Using myself as an example. When I look back, when I have that time of reflection, and I look back at everything that I've been through from 2019 until now, all he's been doing is positioning me. All he's been doing is opening up my eyes and my ears to the things around me. And not once did I stumble and fall. Not once did I snap and lose my mind. Not once did I crack and have a meltdown or crash out. I took it like a man. I took my beatings, I took my L's, I took that knowledge. And it has put me in a much better, peaceful place. So that's what I'm saying, ladies and gentlemen. Let's continue. That time of reflection is something else. When you look back and you look at all that Elohim has brought you through, why did you have to go through it? What did you learn while you was in the thick of it? Sometimes some individuals do not get it. When all hell is breaking loose and there's chaos and mischief and things going on, they're not sitting back saying, okay, Father, why am I going through this? Okay, I see why I'm going through this. Why do I keep going in and out of relationships? Why do I keep getting married and getting divorced? Why I keep getting pregnant by the wrong person? How come I keep losing friends? Why do I attract jealousy friends? What's going on? And you take the time to sit back and analyze and look at that. And when you do, it's amazing of the things that you will discover.
12 verse 29. And it came to pass that at midnight, the Lord smote all the firstborn in the land of Egypt. Do you remember the Passover? God came through and he killed all the firstborn in the land of Egypt. God is the one who did that. God is the one responsible for doing that. From the firstborn of Pharaoh that sat on his throne unto the firstborn of the captive that was in the dungeon. God killed the son of the Pharaoh, the highest ranking man, and he killed the firstborn to the ones that was in the dungeons, in prison, basically. He killed their firstborn as well, too. He didn't discriminate between the high class and the low class, because God is not a respective person when it comes to judgment. It doesn't matter how high lifted up you are or how low you are. If he's going to come through and he says he's going to kill all the firstborn, everybody has to die. And
if Elohim is going to come see you and deal with you, he going to do it. He don't care who you are. He don't care where you at. He's going to come see you. He's going to come see you. There's a large number of individuals that are going to be paid a visit. You don't know when. You don't know how. Just know that you will be paid a visit. Why? For the things that you've done and said. The way that you've treated individuals, the things that you've said to them, and how you said it. That's why you have to be careful of how you treat people. Because when you do people wrong, God will come see about you. And that's what you don't want. Because you don't know when and you don't know how. In 2025, punishment and blessings are going to get handed out to certain individuals. We already seeing it. Let's continue.
And all the firstborn of cattle. Imagine that. What did the cattle do wrong? You have to ask yourself, why did he kill the firstborn of the cattle? He slaughtered all the humans. Okay, we can understand that. The Egyptians wouldn't let the children of Israel go. But why did the cattle have to die? Because God does not play any games. God is when he goes on a slaughtering spree, he's killing everything. He doesn't play any games. Psalm 78, verse 49. He cast upon them the fierceness of his anger, wrath and indignation and trouble by sending evil angels among them. See, God is not the one that physically goes out with a sword and starts slicing people up. That's not the way it works. God is sitting on his throne and he's controlling both sides. He's controlling the left-hand side, which is headed by Satan or the Beelzebub, and he's controlling the right-hand side, which is headed by Yahushua, or who you call Jesus Christ. God is in the middle. God controls both sides. He's sending the evil angels to go out and do his work. So when it says that God killed the firstborn of Egypt, or when God does any of the killing, God is not the one who comes down and does it himself. He sends the evil angels to go and do his bidding. First,
and when you look at the way, paraphrasing, and when you look at relationships nowadays, using this as an illustration, the division. Why is there so much division between man and woman? Because y'all not listening. Y'all don't want to listen. Y'all hard-headed and stubborn. So when you hard-headed and stubborn and want to do what you want to do instead of what Yahshua tells you what to do, guess what? I'm going to let that very thing be the end of you. And I'm going to cause division because not everybody participates in foolishness. So there needs to be a division. The modern, feminist, bad people of bad character over here, people of good character that are peaceful over here. That's why there's a division. That's why things are divided. You got good on this side, evil on this side. Because any individuals that are modern feminist behavior, that's evil, that's wicked. That has no place in good. People like that, they stay with their own kind. Don't try to mix wine with something good. But yet you carrying bad wine over here.
Samuel's 16 and verse 14. But the Spirit of the Lord departed from Saul. See, Saul had a righteous spirit at first. He had a spirit of the Most High. And an evil spirit from the Lord troubled him. The Most High took that spirit from him and replaced it with an evil spirit. Had him trying to kill King David when David wasn't, well, he wasn't king at the time, but trying to kill David, his servant. And David wasn't doing anything to him, but an evil spirit from God troubled him. And Saul's servant said unto him, behold now, an evil spirit from God troubleth thee. See, they knew that the spirit came from God, not from Satan or not from anyone else. God gave the commandment to Satan to go and inhabit Saul. And that's what happens to a lot of people. You got people walking around as murderers and killers. God gave Satan the permission to go inhabit you. You got people walking around waking up and killing their whole family. God gave Satan the permission to go inhabit you. You got people waking up and kidnapping kids. God gave Satan the permission to go inhabit these people. That's the way it works. Satan can't get up and go by himself. Satan has to get permission from God. If he doesn't get permission from God, it's not happening. It's not.
That brings it back to the book of Job, where God gave the permission for Hashatan to have his way with Job. You can take whatever you want from him, but you can't delete him. And you look at the things that happened to Job. Everything. But of course, in the end, everything that he lost, he got back 100-fold. Everything that was taken from him, he received back 100-fold. So when it comes to Hashatan asking for permission to go, say, what not have you, yeah, that's real.
Happening. Satan can't just wake up one day and say, I'm gonna go do my own thing. Satan ain't rebelling. Satan cannot rebel. Satan is already on the evil side. In order for Satan to rebel, Satan would have to come to the righteous side. Satan is already sent out to do evil. He cannot rebel against God. He's already evil. But when God needs to do something evil, Satan, go do your job. That's the way it works. It doesn't work any other way. 1 Kings 22 and verse 20. And the Lord said, who shall persuade Ahab that he may go up and fall at Ramoth Gilead? God wanted Ahab to go up and fight at Ramoth Gilead because God was going to kill him there. That's where Ahab was going to meet his final destination. And one said on this manner, and another said on that manner. And there were spirits up there giving suggestions on how they were going to get Ahab to go up and fight. So one was saying this, and there was another spirit saying that. And there came forth a spirit and stood before the Lord and said, I will persuade him. Then there came another spirit that came before God and said, you know what? I have a plan. This is what I'm going to do. And the Lord said unto him, wherewith? And God says, he said, what's your plan? Let me know what's up. Let me know what you got in store. And he said, I will go forth and I will be a lying spirit in the mouth of all his prophets. The spirit says, I'm going to go out and be a lying spirit in the mouth of all the prophets, because the prophets were given Ahab counsel. He asked the prophets if he should go up and fight. So the spirit says, I'm going to go and be a lying spirit in the mouth of all his prophets so they can get a lying counsel from the prophets. So Ahab can get a lying counsel from the prophets. And he said, thou shalt persuade him and prevail also. Go forth and do so. And God says, yep, you know what? That's going to work. I like that idea. That is going to work. Now, therefore, behold, the Lord hath put a lying spirit in the mouth of all these prophets, and the Lord has spoken evil concerning thee. And God is the one, even though the spirit said he was going to go do it, God is the one who got the credit for it. It says God is, because God gave him the permission to go do it.
Even when Elohim has given permission to certain individuals to go do something, to go say something, it's almost like they have to check in with him. In order for us to really fully understand it, okay, and understand this concept, have your very own time of reflection. That way you can analyze the events, the things that took place in your life, and why certain things had to happen a certain way. Wonder why certain people did what they did to you. Wonder why what happened to you when you went to certain places you was not supposed to go. Or be with certain people that you was not supposed to be with. It comes back to individuals being hard-headed and stubborn and not want to listen. So Elohim had to come punish you. Elohim had to come see about you. Let's continue.
Do it. So the credit actually automatically, it automatically goes back to God. He's the one who gets the credit for it, even though that spirit is the one that came up with the idea and actually went forth to do it. It's no different from in a military. You have the general who sits he sits behind in the office now, the high general and the president. We'll say the president. The president sits back and signs papers, and he authorizes things to happen. He authorizes wars to happen, troops to go here, troops to go there. Is he out there the one doing it? The president is not doing nothing. He's just authorizing it. But when things are successful, who gets the credit for it? The president does. Who gets the credit for it? The president does, even though he didn't go out and shoot a gun. That's the same way it works with God. God is the ultimate president, and he's getting the credit for all of it. He's pointing people to go this way, that way. Go do this work, go do that work. And God's the one who gets the credit for it. Psalms 66, verse 5. Come and see the works of God. King David is telling you this. He says, slow down real quick. Put everything up to the side, sit back, and he says, come and see the works of God. Come see some of the things that God does.
Not only that, come see what God has done in my life. Come see God punish certain individuals. Come see God bless some individuals. Come see. And we're seeing it. We're seeing it. Come see the work of God. He is terrible in his doing towards the children of men. You have some individuals that deserve to get punished. You have some people that deserve to be rewarded. Come see what he is doing. Once again, that whole tradition, that whole thing that those fake preachers are teaching, it irks me. Because there's people, there's men and women that want to hear truth. There's men and women out there seeking salvation. The things that is happening right now that we see in clear view, it does not shake me. It does not move me. It does not surprise me, especially in their behavior. Why? Because prophecy has already been written. And depending who those individuals are that are walking in their anointing, they've already been notified. What do you mean notified? You will see visions. You will have dreams. You will start to move. You will move in a certain way. And that's why you have to be careful of how you even move. You see? You will see the downfall of a lot of individuals. And some may say, that's not how God works. That's wrong. God is not like that. You seeing it firsthand. And we have in scripture to back it up. I don't know how you was taught, but God said, read the word for yourself. Stop putting all your trust in what man say when it comes to the word of Yah. He said, I'm the way, I'm the truth, I'm the light. Sit back and read your playbook so you can understand the plays that are designed in the book, so it can help you throughout your walks of life, so that you don't get caught up in the wash. Always keep your head on a swivel.
He is terrible in his doing toward the children of men. He's terrible in his doings. When God sent the nuclear bomb over there to Hiroshima and Nagasaki, he is terrible in his doing toward the children of men. The World Trade Center, he is terrible in his doing toward the children of men. Trayvon Martin, he is terrible in his doing toward the children of men. Eric Garner, he is terrible in his doing toward the children of men. The politically motivated concentration camp over there in Germany with the fake Jews, he is terrible in his doing toward the children of men. God is terrible in the things that he does to the children of men, and people don't even consider it. God is responsible for doing all these atrocities out here.
No, the thing is, they don't see it. They don't want to receive it. Because in their mind, throughout history and the things that they were taught, that God is not like that. God wouldn't cause that to happen. Start those type of events to take place. You don't know what type of events God gonna cause to take place. Only he knows. He knows why he does what he does. And if you sit long enough, and if you mess around long enough, you're gonna find out why. But you got to be willing to open up your mind, open up your eyes and your ears to hear what thus the word of Yah is saying, and see everything that's been going on right in front of your face. Especially this whole division. Now we came down to the reason why there's so much great division. Because you have a large number of individuals that are hard-headed and stubborn and don't want to listen. So I'm going to let those things run your life. I'm going to let those things be your God. Those material things, y'all know, that's going to be your God. Because apparently you ain't listening. Apparently you ain't getting it. And we're going to see how that worked for you. And we're seeing the destruction. We're seeing that it does not work for those individuals. But you got these good individuals over here. Now we're going to separate. We're not going to throw everybody in the same pot. Because there's some people that don't deserve to get put in the melting pot. But there are some people that deserve to get put in the melting pot.
Suicide bombers come, God is responsible for doing it. God is responsible for doing it. All these wars being stirred up, God is responsible for doing it. God is responsible for doing it. And it only makes sense. It only makes sense. You cannot have a God that's all good and then you got all this evil going on in earth. It makes no sense. It doesn't make any sense. When I started reading and understanding and being taught these verses, I didn't fight against the scriptures. I never fought against the scriptures. What I did is sat back and I said, you know what? This makes sense. This makes sense. I could never grasp the concept of God is all good or God is all love. I could not grasp that. It never made sense to me.
And you have a large number of individuals that think that same thing. When I begin to open up my mind, when I begin to really sit back and I begin to read, I begin to pace myself, I begin to use myself as an example throughout my life of the things that didn't make sense. The more I studied and the more I was around other men that was on this level and we studied. Then I met some women that were on this level and we studied. The more I begin to study, I'm like, man, how come a lot of preachers aren't preaching this? How come every time we turn around, a preacher's talking about tithing, talking about your money? Certain things didn't sit well with me. It really, really made me uneven. I mean, I'm talking about certain things didn't sit right within my spirit, to my soul. The more I kept studying, the more I kept reading, I'm like, man, I was being lied to. I was told to follow this religion, claim this religion. No. Yeshua never claimed no religion. He had and has and always have a relationship with his Father. And when I started breaking away from those traditions, no, the real true day of worship, I was always taught that it was on Sunday. But when I turned away from tradition, it was shown to me that that day of worship was on a Shabbat, on a Saturday, on a Sabbath. To go a step further, every day is your time of worship. Not just one day out the week, but every day. You see? Certain things that I didn't realize back then, the more I studied, became clear to me. And then I started changing the way that I moved. Like these pagan holidays. I didn't realize what I was worshiping on these holidays until I studied. We're talking about Easter. We're talking about Christmas. We're talking about Thanksgiving. We're talking about Halloween. Talking about Valentine's Day. All these holidays, I call them holidays. They say, do you know what you are conjuring up on these days? No, until I studied. I was blown away. I was like, wow. Well, how come these preachers aren't talking about this? Because they're told to speak from a certain agenda. See, if you want to get into the Roman Catholic and what they did when it came to the word and when it came to certain teachings and so forth, that's another conversation. But at the end of the day, We got to know who we are. We got to know that. We got to know that we are the real Hebrew Jews. We got to know that. How is it that others know who we are but us? How is it that others got somewhere to go, but we don't? I'm going to let that marinate. Let this brother continue to feast.
I said, if God is all good, how do we have all these killings going on out here? And people always try to philosophize and say, well, it's a result of people not serving God. No, it's not. Or God just let us do whatever we want and we're the ones doing it. No, God is stirring up the spirits and putting it in people and he's the one who's responsible for it. He's allowing it to happen. He's controlling both sides. He says he creates evil. And it only makes sense. It only makes sense. If God was all good, you would expect the earth to reflect that. You would expect the earth to reflect an all good God. If God was all only evil, you would expect the earth to reflect that and to be all evil. But the earth has a balance. It has a balance of good and a balance of evil. The same balance you see in everything out in life. You have people that are tall, you have people that are short. Fat, thin. It's a balance everywhere you go. Dark, light. It's a balance.
And you got to have that balance. There needs to be a balance. You see? Pay attention.
It only makes sense to have good and evil. Malachi 3 verse 6. For I am the Lord. I change not. See, and a lot of people are going to want to say that, well, that was God in the Old Testament. That's what he did back then. But there's a new God in the New Testament. That's absolutely false. God says he does not change. God was responsible for killing people back then, and it's the same thing today. Nothing.
Not only that, even in this generation, it's the same. You see? Some individuals want to spin their own spiritual narratives. Everything that happened in the Old Testament happens in the New Testament. It's still the same. It's just upgraded, but it's still the same. And the things that are going on in everyday life, still the same. That's why it goes back to knowing how to move. Don't care who you are.
Has changed. It's the same exact thing. He's the same exact entity. The same back then and the same today. The churches is who has changed God. They're the ones who said, you know what, we're not going to accept God created evil. We're going to say God is all good. The churches are the ones that have blocked you from understanding this, from getting this understanding, the correct understanding of God. The Christian God is not the same God that's in the Bible. That God is all good, like the Christians want to say it. Because that's not the same God that's in the Bible. That's not the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. That's a Gentile God, the God of Christianity. And when I say Christianity, I'm talking about post-Constantine Christianity, where they started taking the books and mixing it with paganism and taking certain verses out and saying, you know what, we're going to pick these verses and we're going to make a God out of them. Because that's essentially what Christianity does. They take a few verses out and then they say, well, this is what we want God to be like. Instead of, he says he comes in the volume of the book. You got to take the good and the bad. So that God of Christianity is not the same. They have changed that and they have made it fit their needs and what they think a God should be like. But that's not the God of the Bible.
And then they force that on you. They put that on you and tell you this is what is and who you should follow. And label yourself. It becomes second nature. Individuals are so quick to claim religion. But when it comes to relationship, you speak in a total different language.
He's totally different from that. And if you don't want to accept that, then that's fine. But God has, just to show you that God does create evil, he has one last slaughter getting ready to come up. It's going to be the biggest slaughter out there. It's going to be bigger than the flood slaughter. It's going to be bigger than the Egyptian.
The grand finale of them all. The big one is coming. And if you're not ready, you're not where you're supposed to be in doing what you are supposed to be doing, you're going to get caught up in the wash. That's it. That's all.
Firstborn getting slaughtered, it's going to be the biggest slaughter getting ready to come up when the seventh seal was broken. Just in case you didn't know that God created evil. Revelation 9, verse 15. And the four angels were loosed, which were prepared for an hour and a day and a month and a year, for to slay the third part of men. See, this is the seventh seal being broken. The last seal, and it's the fifth trumpet in that seal being blown. And it's going to happen on a specific time, a specific month. It's going to happen on a specific year, a specific month, a specific day, and a specific hour. God has it already written in his book. He has it already written down. And he's going to loose these angels to come out, and they're going to kill 1/3 of mankind. To show you that God ain't playing games. God is not playing games. And he's going to kill 1/3 of men. And the people that's stuck in the doctrine that God is all good, they're not going to know what hit them. They're going to be looking around crazy. You know how many people 1/3 of men is? If this were to happen today, there's 7 billion people on earth. That would be around 2.5 billion people wiped off the face of the earth in one day and in 1 hour. A specific hour is going to take place. That's all China wiped out, all China knocked out. That's all America wiped off the face of the earth. That's all Brazil wiped off the face of the earth. That's all Indonesia wiped off the face of the earth. And all Russia. God is planning to slay 1/3, so that would be equivalent to all those countries being knocked off the face of the earth in 1 day and in 1 hour. God is not playing any games. And who's going to get the brunt of that? The people that's not keeping God's commandments.
Not only that, but those that want to be ignorant, those that don't want to listen, those that want to do what they want to do, those that are ignorant to the truth. This is not the time right now to be behaving so worldly. But what can you do? What can you say? What can you say to an individual that does not want to receive truth, that does not want to hear it? You just put your hands in the air and say, Abba, Father, I tried. I tried to tell him. I tried to tell her. They didn't want to listen. I did what you told me to do. I'm being led by the Spirit. And that's when Elohim says, step back. Now I'm going to step in. And when Elohim steps in, it's done. I hope y'all enjoyed it. I enjoyed the knowledge. King Conversations. Subscribe, like, comment, and share to the channel. It's your boy, Big